Now we're going to have a look at raw onion. And often when you cut an onion, what happens? You start crying, is that right? And that's a good illustration of what the onion does. It's very good at clearing all the eustachian tubes. So it's a good time to cut up an onion is when you've got a cold. And what you can do with a baby, you can't do a lot with a baby, obviously, but you can, if they have a cold, you can cut up an onion or slice up an onion and you can put it on a plate in their bedroom and they will breathe in the onion fumes and it will help to clear the airways. And it's a fairly old remedy that to cut up an onion on a plate will help to take the fumes out of a freshly painted room. Also, if you've got a bad smell in the fridge, obviously you must remove the cause of that bad smell. But if you put a chopped onion on a plate, it can absorb any of the bad fumes that may be lingering after the offending article has been removed from the fridge. So raw onion can be used like that. Now there's another remedy for raw onion, and you might be surprised at this one. And this remedy is for a cough. Let's say someone's got a bad cough, and I'll give you a story to illustrate. I was at my daughter's house in America, and she's got a little 3-year-old boy, and she put him to bed. He had a bit of a cold, and we were listening, and he coughed, and he coughed, and he coughed, and he coughed. And you know what it's like, you just think he'll go to sleep any minute. Half an hour later, he's still coughing. So I said to Emma, get him up and we'll put the onion poultice on his feet. Because up near the face, up near the eyes, it can irritate. So we'll put it on the feet because the feet are a reflex for the rest of the body. Specifically, the feet are a reflux for the chest, the feet are a reflux for the head, and the feet are a reflux for the abdomen. So what we did was we chopped up the onion like I'm doing right now, and we got 2 little plastic bags. Now, James is only 3, so little onions is good for a little one. And we put about a tablespoon of onion in one plastic bag, and we put a tablespoon of onion in another plastic bag. And then we put his feet in the plastic bag. So his foot, the bottom of his foot, is sitting on the onion. And then you pull the plastic bag up around his ankle and put a sock on. And then put him back to bed. So what's he got on? He's got his feet in the onion bag. And his feet, the bottom of his feet, where the biggest paws are in the whole body, are sitting on the onion. Now, not one more cough. And he'd been coughing for over half an hour. Not one more cough. Now, I know you're going to be keen to try this one, and it is so simple. Does the onion burn the bottom of the feet? No, it doesn't. And he slept with that on all night, and there was not one cough for the rest of the night. So it's an amazing treatment, so simple, and yet so powerful. I had a lady ring me. She was about to be admitted to hospital with pneumonia. She's 23. She said, I don't want to go to hospital. I was admitted a month ago. I was put on strong antibiotics that made me so sick and it didn't really help. She said, so pneumonia is a pretty bad situation. So I said, come, we'll do what we can. We had a program on, so it was convenient. And I said to her, just a little tip on your way. She had a 5-hour drive. I said, cut up an onion, put half in one plastic bag, half in the other bag. Now, sorry, she didn't have to drive with the onion on her feet. Her boyfriend was driving. And I said, put your feet in those plastic bags and put a sock on. Well, she thought that was pretty strange, but she was willing to do anything. When she got to our health retreat, she was just smiling. She said, I'm in awe. She said, she said it lessened my tightness. She said it seemed to open my bronchioles. This is on the feet. Very simple treatment. Now, she was with us. When she came to us, she was on Ventolin, she was on cortisone drugs, and she was on anti-inflammatories. And we did some hot and cold water fomentations on her lungs, her chest. We'll tell you about that one in a minute. And we put onion on her feet every night, and we got her inhaling peppermint oil. And within the third day, she was off all her medication. She started to walk up the hills with all the other guests, and she had just finished her nursing. And that was a year ago. She's now been 6 months a naturopathic student. She said, I know where I'm going now. So she'll be an excellent naturopath. Now what I'm going to do now is make onion syrup. Now this is one of the best cough syrups that you can make. And it is so easy and everyone loves it, especially when the children aren't used to sugar, which my children weren't. I've put a layer of chopped onion in a jar, and now I'm going to put approximately a teaspoon of honey. This must be good honey, it's very thick. And you know the best honey is thick honey. So that's about a teaspoon of honey. Now another layer of onion, another teaspoon of honey, needs 2 hands. Now by the end of this evening, a syrup should have formed. Can you see what I'm doing there? Now I'm putting another layer of onion. Now, because I don't want to spend another 5 minutes peeling and chopping another onion, this is all I'm going to do, but you certainly can fill your jar. So we'll put an extra dose up on, we'll put maybe 2 teaspoons of honey on the top. And I'm glad we've got this thick honey, because all honey should be like that. You know, a lot of honey has got glucose syrup in it, which is just sugar water. So whenever honey is thin and runny in the winter, get worried. It's got sugar in it. And my children used to put honey on their porridge, and you know, they dig it out like candied honey, but as soon as it goes in the porridge, it melts. So can you see that? It's a great illustration because the honey's quite dark. Now that honey's just sitting there with the onion, but in about an hour you'll see a syrup formed. Now this is a cough mixture, and if someone's got a bad cough, they can have a teaspoon of that 3 times a day, or a child could have a half a teaspoon 3 times a day. So if your child's coughing very badly, give them a teaspoon of onion syrup, chop up the onion in 2 plastic bags, wrap it on their feet and put them to bed. They should and you should have a nice sleep that night. So that's another thing that you can do with the onion, is the onion syrup. Now, a member of the onion family